Have you tried everything to get rid of your anxiety? The breathing exercises, the journaling, the medications, the therapy, the self-help books stacked on your nightstand? I mean, maybe you've done all of it. And maybe you've had some relief, and then it comes back. And when it comes back, you find yourself wondering, why? What did I miss? What am I doing wrong? And the most frustrating part isn't even the anxiety itself. It's the feeling that it's being caused by things outside of your control. Your finances, or you're anxious because of your relationship, or your health isn't doing so well, or you've just lost your job. The state of the world. There is always something out there that seems to be the reason that you can't settle, you can't relax, or just feel okay. I used to believe that too. And then something shifted for me. And as I've begun to see it more and more, it's been one of the most relieving moments of my life. I've come to see that anxiety is not coming from lack of money. It's not coming from other people or anything outside of me. It was coming from my thinking. And the moment I understood where to look, and as I began to point myself there more and more often, my life has changed for the better. Here's the thing about anxiety. It is incredibly convincing. When you're in it, it doesn't feel like a thought. It feels like reality. It feels like the world is actually unsafe. The situation is out of control. The worst case scenario is actually happening. I mean, the anxiety feels real, and because everything out there just seems to confirm it. Your bank account may be lower than you'd like. That's fact. Your partner is distant lately. That's true. Your health isn't what it was. Yep. So we spend our time trying to fix the outside world, hoping that if the circumstances just got better, if the money came in, or relationship improved, or health issues were resolved, then we would finally feel okay, finally feel at peace. But here's what I've come to understand, and what I have seen over and over again in my own life and in the lives of the clients that I work with. Two people can be in the exact same situation and have completely different experiences of it. Same cancer diagnosis, both people have different feelings. Same financial struggles, two people have different levels of fear. Troubled marriages, one couple is in turmoil, one couple are at peace. What's different is not the circumstances. What's different is our thinking. Your experience of life, all of it, is being created from the inside, moment to moment, through the power of thought. And anxiety is not a message from the outside world telling you that something is wrong. Anxiety is a feeling, and it's telling you something about the quality of your thinking right now in this moment. And that's where we look. And this is where it gets pretty interesting, and for me, very hopeful. Your feelings are not your enemy. They never were. Our feelings are actually one of the most brilliant guidance systems we have. They're like a built-in compass, and they're always, always pointing you in the right direction. Not toward what is wrong in your life, but they're pointing you towards what is happening in your mind. When you feel anxious or worried or overwhelmed, those feelings are not a signal that the world is falling apart. They're a signal that your thinking has taken a turn, that you've drifted into insecure thinking. or fearful thinking, or thinking that is creating a reality in your mind that feels very real and very true, but probably not the whole truth. So think of it this way. Your feelings are like a warning light on the dashboard of your car. The warning light doesn't tell you the car's broken forever. It tells you to look under the hood. It tells you to pay attention, tells you that there's something you need to look at. And when you start to see your feelings that way as a guide rather than a verdict, everything changes. And you can stop fighting the anxiety and stop panicking about the panic. You can stop adding like that second layer of suffering on top of the first one. You can notice, oh, I'm in some anxious thinking right now. Nothing wrong with me. The world isn't dangerous. It's not my life is falling apart. Just I'm in some thinking that's creating these anxious feelings. And I know where that's coming from, and I know it will pass. Now, this is not a small thing. This is enormous. I want you to think about the weather for a moment. You know, when a storm rolls in, you don't usually think, oh, this is permanent. The sun is gone forever. Summer's never coming back. You understand, this is weather. It moves in, it does what it does, and it moves through, passes on by. Well, your thinking works exactly the same way. The nature of thought is that it is temporary. It comes, it does what it does, passes by or creates a feeling or a mood or a state of mind. And if you don't grab it, if you don't start analyzing it and feeding it and building a case around it, it passes right on by. It always passes. That's the nature of thought. And what keeps anxiety going, what keeps it coming back, what makes it feel chronic and painful is not the thinking itself. It's what we do with the thinking. We grab it, we analyze it, we try to figure out why it's here. We ruminate or catastrophize about what it means, or we argue with it, or we try to suppress it. And in doing all of that, we're not letting the thoughts pass by. We're feeding them. We're giving them more life, more meaning. And I've seen this so many times, and I felt it myself. The real suffering doesn't come from the anxious thought. It comes from grabbing onto it. It comes from, starting to chew on it or ruminate about it. And when you can simply let it be, when you can say, oh, this is just some anxious thinking and it's going to pass, well, then you're no longer in that storm, of the weather. You're the thinker and you're watching your thinking from a safe place. And from that place, it moves through much, much faster than you ever imagined possible. You don't have to create peace of mind. You don't have to earn it or, try to get it or fix yourself. Peace of mind, wisdom, clarity, humor, happiness are your natural state. They're already inside you. That peace of mind is always there. Every single moment of every single day. It's underneath whatever thinking is happening. There's an innate well-being that is you, is your natural state. It's what you return to every time your thinking quiets down. Like, have you ever noticed that when you wake up in the morning, before your mind starts racing, there's a few seconds of quiet, just presence before the to-do list kicks in or you got to get up for work. The quiet is who you actually are. And this probably happens to you throughout the day, maybe when you're going for a walk or you're at the gym or you're enjoying your lunch. Anxiety is not your true nature. Anxiety is temporary thinking, passing through a mind that is at its core healthy, whole, and well. You're not broken. You never were. And the beautiful thing about knowing that, I mean, truly knowing that, is that you stop spending so much energy trying to fix yourself. You stop treating yourself as a problem to be solved and start trusting that the well-being you're looking for is not somewhere out there on the horizon. It's right here, right now, one thought away. And the only way you can feel badly about yourself and your life is if you think badly about them. It's up to you every single moment that you're alive. And this for me is freedom. So, what do you actually do when the anxiety comes? Because it's going to come. I'm not going to tell you that understanding this means that you're never going to feel anxious again. You will. We all do. We're all human beings and we have thoughts and feelings. And sometimes our thoughts go to dark and fearful places. That's just part of the experience of being alive. That's part of being a human being. But what shifts is your relationship to it and your understanding and your grounding. And when you feel that anxious feeling rising, instead of asking, what's wrong with my life? Maybe you can get curious. Maybe you can get quiet. Maybe you can ask a different question. Maybe you can not try to analyze the content of your thoughts or try to fix them or change them. Just notice and recognize this is a feeling. These anxious feelings are coming from thought, and thought is temporary. And then, and this is really cool, you let it be. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to make it go away. Our mind, left alone, finds its own way back to stillness. It's designed to. So when we stop fighting our insecure thinking or anxious thinking and stop feeding the thinking and get quiet and trust that your natural well-being is right there underneath of that anxious thinking, just waiting, because it is. And this isn't wishful thinking. This isn't about reframing your thoughts or stopping thinking. This is just how the mind works. And once you see it, you'll know that you've never been as far from peace as your anxious thinking told you you were. When I realized that my anxious feelings are not coming from other people or outside circumstance or not coming from lack of money or from anything out there, it was such a huge relief. I mean, I finally knew where to look and I could do something about that. I knew that my feelings were not my enemy. They're my guide, just guiding me and letting me know when my thinking has taken a detour, and they're pointing me back home. And home, that quiet, settled, clear, wise place inside, is never, ever gone. It's just waiting for me to stop looking everywhere else. If you're someone who's been living with anxiety, who's tried everything and still can't understand why it keeps coming back, I want you to hear this. There is nothing wrong with you. Your mind is working exactly as it was designed to work. You've just been looking in the wrong direction, and it's innocent. It's not a problem. So look inside, get quiet, let the thinking settle. Your well-being is right there. You are already a whole, perfect person. You have common sense, self-esteem, humor, happiness, wisdom, and infinite creative potential. There is nothing missing.